Tell me something about the future. Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine, this is Americ.
Hello.
And welcome to our review for 11/22/63. I always get confused about how to say this.
Don't people just say November
22nd,
1963?
It just feels really long to say.
Yeah, but you see the numbers.
I just say 11/22.
Yeah, 11/22/63.
Yeah.
A Hulu original miniseries.
Yeah, event series is technically how they call it. It's based on Stephen King's novel. It's about a man who travels in time to stop Kennedy's assassination. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the series, we're going to talk about everything that happened. We're literally reviewing all the episodes.
Everything.
So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it because it's amazing, and then come back and watch it. If you have seen it, let's talk about it. I want to start talking about the story. Now, we haven't read the book, but the story was amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From just the way it was structured, the past, how it ends, everything is just like, it just fits so well together.
Here's the thing. Usually when we talk about time travel, and this is interesting because the device that was used to tell the story in this time travel story was very specific, right? It's like you can only go to one fixed point past in time.
And if you come back and you go back, it resets.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you don't have that constant loop of I changed this and this, that, and there's like a whole butterfly effect type of thing, which is another separate movie. So this was very specific. And I think that device fundamentally forced the story to be consistent throughout the episodes and not have the character go back and forth throughout. And I love that.
I love that we literally only spend time in the present, I think in the first episode and then the last episode, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was refreshing because really now you can have the character really commit and have to use their wits within that time. And I love the fact that we talked about this. I don't know if you ever remember, how would you survive? Could you survive if you went 10 years back in time? Sure.
Oh.
20 years back in time.
I know.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
30 years?
I know. You don't have internet.
Years?
How do you find out information?
You know, it's like, how do you go from point A to point B? I have to read a map? That's crazy. You know, and it's a very interesting premise to ask yourself, how would you deal with the past? And it's good to see that, you know, the story gave the character some tools. They didn't just throw them in the past, say, good luck.
Yes. He definitely had a lot of information from
the future.
His friend who had already gone through a lot of stuff. That said, his little booklet kind of got burnt a little bit, except for the money-making aspect of it.
Yeah.
But something else that every episode that I watched, I was just like, oh my God, was the performances.
Yeah, for sure. I think James Franco did a fabulous job. But pretty much everyone did a great job. It was very specific.
Yeah, I loved it. I just remember every week I'm just like, 11/22's out. Let's watch it. It's so good.
Even
and
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh yes, I think they really made the world come to life for me.
I know. It felt real. It felt like almost like this is actually happening and we're actually stopping it. It's not true, right?
Yeah, I
but
know.
It felt
like,
real.
Oh my God.
It's like he stopped it. He saved it.
The past is pushing back.
He saved the president. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that every character throughout was absolutely very specific. But you know what? There was a secret character throughout the entire series. The past.
Right.
The past was an actual character in this. Past pushing back. Pushing
like you
back.
will not change the future.
It's like you want to change this. See, Tardis agrees.
I also want to talk about the ending. From the beginning of the series, I just thought, what? But I always feel like you're probably gonna make this whole thing worse. Like, you don't know what kind of effect stopping this is gonna have.
Yeah.
So when it came back and it's like post-apocalyptic, who knew, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that was quite a bit of a leap, though.
It was never really Walking Dead.
It was never really explained, right? Like, maybe it's explained in the book a little bit more, but we don't really know what are this chain of events that led to the world living in apocalypse.
It looks like Wallace, that was elected, might have launched like some sort of nuclear thing.
Yeah.
And then people were put into camps, kind of like Katrina camps.
Yeah.
But it's that Kennedy started. that Kennedy started, but apparently a lot of bad things happened similar to, but I don't know.
I guess it's possible. They didn't really explain it well, so maybe if you guys have an explanation from the book and want to let us know, we'd really appreciate that. So the explanation wasn't as great as it could have been, but I feel the whole point was there was a consequence, right, to this, to the entire...
Yeah, that was the larger point, I think, was that, yeah, of course, you think, like, I think the point of his friend was, like, life would be so much better if Kennedy hadn't died, and it's like, maybe not.
Would it?
Yeah.
Would it be better?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I did all of this, and he wasted, like, 3 years.
Yeah.
Although he didn't waste, because, he met Sadie, but... So, speaking of Sadie, I think the biggest question or sort of issue that I had at the end is when he goes back and he's totally ready to live his life with Sadie and do all this thing, and then this other guy that has been trying to change the past, I guess, is telling him, yeah, you're never gonna change it, it's never gonna happen, they always die. I felt like he gave up a little too easily.
Okay, here's the thing. I have 2 issues with this. First of all, that guy.
Yeah, it was random.
He was kind of random because it's like, was he using the same door? Was he using a different door?
Yeah.
Was he going to a different time?
He just kind of appeared sometimes.
We never really, yeah.
Is it in his head? Because at some point I thought, is it Jake? And then I was like, no, but that's the daughter. It's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different storyline. So I felt like it didn't quite make sense a lot of the time. And I felt that guy was the past.
Right. That makes sense.
That guy was the past pushing back.
Yeah.
And he fell for it.
Yeah.
He thought he was a real guy, but maybe it wasn't.
That's why I thought, well, I mean, he could have at least tried once. I guess he was like, maybe it's better not to, I don't know. But I was like, oh, come on, just try it once. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he didn't want to even try once, that's debatable. The fact that he didn't even talk about the possibility that guy was not a fellow time traveler, but indeed a past pushing back in a certain way. That was the part that was like, bro, doesn't your natural suspicion just make you even ask random, like, specific questions saying, you're weird, dude. Like, I don't trust you. And I don't think he should have trusted him. Yeah. That is the part that really got to me.
That said, maybe it was for the better that he didn't try again, because fundamentally they are from different time. And, they're each meant to live their own lives. And then as we see at the end, which is a really, really beautiful moment where he goes to see her speak years later, she's had a good life, She's happy, she's, and then they have this nice dance. And, he tells her, you knew me from a different life, which is kind of true.
It was an acceptable ending. I actually had no problem with the ending, right? Because here's the thing, with these miniseries, they always start out really great. Yeah. They sort of like muddle towards the middle, and then they end like kind of badly. Terribly.
Yeah. Overall, fantastic series. At least I enjoyed it from beginning to end.
Yeah, exactly.
Through and through.
Absolutely.
But before we end this, we wanted to ask one question, which is, how would you have done it, Americ? Because Americ had a lot of thoughts as we were watching
I had
the show.
Opinions.
This is what I would have done.
I completely had opinions. Here's the thing. Let me tell you what I would have done, right? Yeah. The moment I see Lee Harvey Oswald, I put a bullet through his brain. The moment, and then I walk back out.
You have to make sure you're able to get out.
No, absolutely, completely agree. But I go back to my, time portal, go back and check it out. And if it's not that, at least I don't waste another. How long did he waste another? He wasted a lot of time from the moment Oswald came in and to the moment where he tried to stop the assassination. Time that could have been well spent, even going back into the future. But then if
it doesn't work, then you have to come back and do 1 year all over again.
But that's fine. At least it's just 1 year. You don't have to do 2 years on top of it. I thought he was being extra careful. But he already
killed all these people. I don't know if he wanted to go back and re-kill and redo everything.
Look, that's what I would have done. But I'm curious, what would you have done? You would have done the same thing?
First of all, I I would have been like, why do you want me to kill him? Like, how is this a good thing? I think
so you wouldn't even done any of it.
I wouldn't even have done it. I'd be like, sure, I'm gonna go. Okay, bye-bye.
But what about you? What would you have done if you had been given the opportunity to go back in time and potentially stop the assassination of JFK? Comment below.
Let us know.
Let us know.
We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our other TV-related videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Do you remember that Persons Unknown miniseries?
Oh, well, no. I was thinking of the other room, or the Lost Room. Or
the Lost Room that had the terrible
Yeah, it started out so good, and then it was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, some miniseries, or Persons Unknown, which was yet another miniseries that started out really great, and then just sort of like...
No, yeah.
Petered out, but thank God this was not one of them.